So this tutorial is part of a series in creating charts in XLSX files using Python, and we're going to be using Google Colab in this tutorial and in subsequent tutorials. There's two types of charts you can create in XLSX files. There's embedded charts, which are usually in the same sheet as the data, or in another sheet, but within a data grid, and there are chart sheets, which are independent sheets. In this video, we'll just be looking at embedded charts, and we're just going to be looking at the first type of common chart in XLSX files, and that's going to be a column chart. So let's jump into Jupyter Notebook using Google Colab, and I'll show you how to make a column chart. Jupyter Notebook and Google Colab. Again, this section of code is linked in the description of this video, and also there's code for some subsequent tutorials on other types of charts being created using Python and X creating XLSX files using Python. Anyway, so we're going to be using the XLSX writer module, and yeah, so for this example, I'm using the iris dataset from the scikit-learn library. I'm also going to use data frame to the pandas to data frame to Excel method, and there's some links to the pandas documentation there. And really, I'm using a lot of XLSX writer, which you can find great chart examples to in their documentation linked here. So typically, you have to install XLSX writer, at least you're doing Google Colab, and then I'm just importing the other libraries we're using. I convert the data set into a pandas data frame, and then I'm going to use pandas.xl writer to create the column, and then I'm going to make a chart object and add some series, and a lot of this is more intuitive if you've not used it once you're looking at the chart. Obviously I have to make a worksheet object and insert the chart into the worksheet. So let's just run this section of code and take a look at what the output looks like. So installing the library does take a second. And then I believe I must have left a print in there of the, so this is what the iris group data frame looks like. So now we should have in our current directory this guy. I'm going to download it, and I'm actually going to look at this in Excel Libre instead of Google Sheets. So here I am with Excel Libre open, and my Jupyter Notebook by its side. You can see that I wrote the same data frame, the iris group data frame, into the .xlsx file. And here's the subsequent, as I shift it across the screen, the subsequent chart, which is representative of the data that's put out. So we have, try and make this so the chart's a bit more prominent. So here we have the x-axis labeled with the sepal width, sepal length, petal length, and petal width, and the three types of the three species of plant that are in the data frame: Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. And so you can see there the sepal length by the different types. It's quite a useful basic column chart. And so how do we get this in here? So we use the using add series. We reference the name of a particular cell, which was E2, and then we went for the values and the categories. And so the categories are in common across the three different types in the column chart. So the categories are A1 through D1, which is the length, width, and the sepal length, the sepal width, the petal length, and the petal width. And the name, of course, is for different rows. It's for this one it's the Setosa, you know, what we call the target name, and its values are these four. And so that produces these for Setosa, these four blue columns, and then so on. The same for versicolor and virginica. So that's about it for a basic column example. Again, we used 2XL to just put this, that put the entire data frame we had in there. We used the index equals false option, so it didn't print out. It didn't put an index here because we didn't really want that. It might be a bit unnecessary, a bit distracting. We selected the chart type as column, and we did what we wanted to do to the chart with add series, and then we insert the chart into our worksheet. So that's about it for this tutorial. Again, the code is in the description below, and as far as the output goes, it could be different depending on, you know, if I use Google Sheets, it might look a little different. If I use Microsoft Excel, it probably looks best. This is actually Excel Libre, and it looks fine in Excel Libre too. So yeah, if you get slightly different output in terms of the default coloring or something of that nature, that might happen, and that is, I guess, to be expected. So okay, thanks very much. See you in the next video.